The system doesn't want to welcome me back to Hard Facts. I don't understand. Computer, what's wrong with you? All right. I welcome myself back to Hard Facts. Thank you so much, Abuja, for staying with 95.1 Nigeria Info. Your passionate, trustworthy, and conversational radio on air, off air, online, and on the street. We are number one. We get the conversation going 247. And thanks to you, your contribution, your listening, just listening to us and all of that, takes us a long way. So thank you very much, because we'll be nothing without you. And on the show, we start off with the big stories driving conversation in the country. We shift again into something equally intense and topical, and taper off the show nicely with eyewitness reports, situation updates, some bit of lightness to it. But half the time, even that segment of the show is intense, because we're talking about the price of things in the market, purchasing strength, VIO, road safety, and it just feels like, yeesh, there is no time to catch a break. And that's why we're very deliberate about it on Friday, to just ensure that we let our hair down and have a great time. So, my guest is already seated. It's got paper handy, just in case you bombard him with plenty questions. He'll be scribbling down and responding to as many of them as possible. My name is Kimberly Wachiku. Call me Kim, the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the fellow Chanyawan, Madam Speaker. And I would say yes, yes, yes to them all. And joining us on the roundtable all the way from Warri in Delta State, we have Comrade Odafe Emmanuel Igbini. Comrade is the National President, Vanguard for Transparent Leadership and Democracy in Nigeria. You're welcome, Comrade. Delighted to have you back with us in the studio.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here with you.
Yes. The last time you were on the roundtable, I think one of the big stories we focused on was on River State. And it's interesting that you were back in Abuja and on the show, and looking at some of the feelers and the development from the state. Between when you were here and now, we've had, to the microphone, we've had the issue of attempted bombing in some part of the state, which was foiled. We've had the governor of the state saying it was just a ploy to call for a state of emergency. Apparently, if a bomb goes off, God forbid, people's lives are lost, the federal might would be forced to intervene, in terms of military-wise and martial law, if applicable at that point in time. So that's what he's saying. And also pointing fingers at the ruling party of the state, the People's Democratic Party, saying that the state has actually let Rivers people down, given the fact that all of the wrangling that is going on in the state and the cause of the chaos and the crisis in the state is from the ruling party. The characters, the people they're pointing fingers are not from the opposition. You can't say categorically that there's an interference. Politically, you might want to speak and imply and infer and all of that. But we're looking at the former governor of the state, we're looking at the governor of the state, we're looking at people who make up the parliament, we're looking at the lines of... These are people who are predominantly in the ruling party, and it feels that way to a certain degree. But let's get your take. We'll look on that quickly before we move on to other stories.
Well, thank you.
Do you think the situation... I feel, personal opinion here, that the situation has worsened in the last time you were here and now.
Not exactly that it has worsened, except for the grenade. I was
an attempt. It's bad.
Yeah. So in fact, I'm really, really heartbroken. The very moment I got the information and I reached out to the people in River State, thankfully, because that was the day that the Wike, in quote, supporters decided to also embark on a peaceful march around some areas in Obiakpo local government, And the march, according to them, was to tell the Nigerian police, the IG, that look, as far as the matters are before the Court of Appeal, and that the Court of Appeal has given a clear order to both parties, that is the Governor Fubara's group and the Wike's group, to stay action, which means none of them should go close to the secretariat of any of the local governments, the 23. And since he decided, that is the PDP's argument, since Labour, because there was a story that the Nolge chapter of River State they were now threatening to go on strike if they are not allowed to have access to the secretariat. That was actually what led to this recent unfortunate development, because the workers are saying, look, under NLC and TUC and NOLGE, that look, we are not party in all of this, that we are workers, so allow us access to our offices so that we can do our jobs. But the Wike group said, no, we don't want trouble. So now that the IG has done what is right by enforcing what he believes is the court order or the Court of Appeal, that all parties should stay away from the secretariat, that if people come like this, then we are going to march to inform Nigerians that we are against any attempt by anybody to have access, in as much as we are also denying ourselves access to that secretariat. The other party should also not be allowed. That was the whole essence. But how suddenly around Rumola, close to a presidential hotel, that when they had finished their rally and they were already moving away, minutes after, the grenade exploded. And luckily, the suspect, who was said to have carried the grenade, got injured, and then in an attempt to go and seek medical attention, he was arrested, and right now he's with the Nigerian police, giving information as to what he knows about who's behind it and the rest of them. Then that of the governor, yes, I watched him. I was still be very disturbed, because Senator Orji's Okalu, former governor of Abia State, and his team went to Rivers State on their oversight function on a different entirely, but normally they have to pay a courtesy visit to the governor. I think it was during that courtesy visit that the governor, in response to the wise counsel from former governor Orji's Okalu, because he had told them, and in fact, let me use the opportunity to really appreciate the former governor of Abia State, because what he said sense. He spoke directly to Governor Fubara and to Wike, advising them to be very careful and to put Rivers State above whatever differences they have. And that he promised to talk with Fubara off camera, and then when he comes back to Abuja, he will engage Wike, that what he wants is that they should reconcile, that this thing is normal, which is what I've been saying. This thing is normal, it's just a minor disagreement that they couldn't manage well, and the third party came in and they exploited it, escalated the whole thing, and look at where we are. So it was in response to that wise counsel from former Governor Orji's Okalu and Senator, that the governor now said, in fact, he pointedly accused his former boss that they had wanted to embarrass or create panic while the senators were lodged in that same presidential hotel. In fact, his words say they wanted to dynamite, it's not my words, that they had planned to dynamite this hotel so that there'll be panic, and then it will become a justification for a state of emergency. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing happening in Rivers State that will warrant anybody even thinking of a state of emergency, let alone call for it. I heard the factional leader of APC in Rivers State always talking about state of emergency. I just don't bother about him because he's a factional leader. It doesn't make any sense. What is actually the situation is that I have called on the National Assembly, the 10th leadership of the National Assembly, to invoke what I call doctrine of necessity, and also invoked the power of the National Assembly under Section 11, subsection 4. We say that in the event that the House of Assembly of any state is unable to carry out its constitutional function by making laws for peace, order, and good government of the state because of certain prevailing situation, that the National Assembly will now step in to carry out the function of that state House of Assembly, pending when they are able. The House of Assembly members are not able. And the situation in Rivers State is very, very clear. You know that both parties are in court. The Governor Fubara's side is insisting that the Martins Emeule and...
But isn't that also some sort of state of emergency?
No.
Because half the time we think about it in the military sense of it.
No. State of emergency is when you have actual breakdown. That's what Section 305 says. It's clear. Actual breakdown, which means you just see crisis, problem all over the place. In Rivers State, no.
If the bomb had gone off and people were killed, it could possibly have degenerated into that.
No, you see, I think, with due respect, the governor who made that serious allegation should help the Nigerian security agencies, with information, the intelligence that he has, that pointed clearly to what he claimed is his former boss's attempt to dynamite, in quote, dynamite. You know, it's a serious allegation, and he is the governor, so he should be asked to help the security agencies with that privileged intelligence that he claims he has, so that we can really get to the root of this matter. But still, that is not anywhere close to state of emergency. The only thing that the National Assembly must do, and I'm calling on the National Assembly again, and I blame the National Assembly for allowing it. The moment the National Assembly saw that both parties are in court laying claim to the House of Assembly, and the court has assumed jurisdiction as okay, now there's vacuum. Actually, the governor ought not to be doing so many things because you require legislative assent. Okay. So in that situation, the Constitution, the makers, the framers of our Constitution envisage that such a thing could happen. And then answer, okay, when it happens like this, National Assembly take over the function of the State House of Assembly, which is normal. That is not a state of emergency at all.
All right, then. Okay, that's one aspect of it, looking at how to dealing with that. But let's look at also the politics of things here, where the Rivers State governor has expressed his disappointment with the People's Democratic Party, stating that the party had failed him and his supporters in the state. He was elected on the platform of the party. That's no longer news. And he made a statement during the meeting with members of the Senate Committee on Privatization led by Senator Orji Kalu at the Government House in Port Harcourt yesterday. And among the committee members was Senator Abba Moro, former Minister of Interior, whom Governor Fubara acknowledged as a leader within his party, the PDP. The governor amusingly told the Benue politician that would not adhere to party protocol, noting that the party had let the state down. He said he and his supporters in Rivers State were now operating as a movement to defend democracy rather than functioning as members of a political party. So is it going to be called the Fubara movement? Fubara champions democracy in Rivers State. Politicians are very good with just playing with words and all of that. But there's some iota of truth to this as to where the party is, the role, the prominence of trying to either resolve the issue, douse the tension, and ensure for governance to go on. They can't extricate the party from all of this.
You know, PDP has, as a party, has been immersed in the crisis. You know what I say, that there's been crisis, and so if the 27 members said, oh, there's crisis in our party, that's why we are defecting, I cited it the other time over and over, and people were like, no crisis, so what are we talking about now? Now the governor himself is now alluding to that fact that there's crisis. Otherwise, what will the governor say? In fact, in summary, the governor has passed a vote of no confidence on the national leadership of the PDP.
And declared himself a comrade, because when you're starting a movement...
He's not talking of a movement, so which means he's probably saying now that he's no longer a member of the PDP, that he's now a Governor Fubara movement that probably will transform to another party, I don't know. But see, what it shows is that there is crisis in PDP. Nobody should deny it. And this is not the first time. In 2019, this same thing happened. Recall, the position of the minority leader then, the then Honorable Kingsley Chinda, had overwhelming support of members of PDP in that 9th National House of Rep.
Yeah.
Suddenly, before he knew it, things changed. The then APC, under the leadership of, I don't want to mention his name now, now met with another faction of PDP, few of them, and then said, oh no, that the people, the members who initially adopted Honorable Kingsley Chinda, their minority leader, have changed their mind. And at that time, the National Assembly of National Leadership of PDP, this same PDP, ought to have stepped in to resolve the matter. They could not, because some were biased in favor of those against Wike and some for Wike. So that thing dragged on. In fact, I was one of those who came in from Warri, met with the then, the one who now succeeded as the minority leader, courtesy of the APC. Met with him personally because he's my brother. And then I also called Honorable Kingsley Chinda. And then, it's okay, it has happened for the interest of your party and the country. Allowing, that was how we resolved it. The national leadership of PDP failed also. So if Governor Fubara is now saying they have failed him, I will not doubt it, because they could not do anything to resolve the matter. a minor misunderstanding between former Governor Wike, who single-handedly made sure that he mobilized support for Fubara, and Fubara became governor. Now, a minor disagreement between two of them, the leadership of the party could not step in to resolve it. And I see where the governor has passed a vote of no confidence in national leadership. You see? And that is so bad. Well, but the thing is that I am still in touch with both of them, even before I came to the studio. And Mai is insisting that they must go back to that room. They have come a long way together. As I am telling you, what
you seem to be positive that it can still resolve this issue. Some would say it's all water under the bridge now.
Is far more than what politics can put us.
Let's go on a quick break. We'll build on that later. Stay with us.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
Audio Jungle.
The roundtable with our guest, Odafe Emmanuel Igbini, and looking at some of the big stories driving conversation. Rivers is trending, Fubara is in the news, and also the concern that the ruling party in the state, the People's Democratic Party, has failed him and the party members, and saying that they're now operating more like a movement. I don't know why I chuckle anytime that comes to mind. You know, when you see a governor say we're operating as a movement, it brings back, movements like the obedient movement to mind. So he's starting his own movement because he doesn't feel like he's a party member at this point in time. Yes, you were trying to build on something. Just we'll move on to the next story.
Yes. So for me, what binds the two of them together? People have been asking, what is the root cause of this problem? Let me tell you. This disagreement cannot separate the two of them. Far back, when even Wike was still minister and Amici was still governor, Fubara was a very trusted ally of Wike. That was why when Wike became governor, he did not waste time in taking Fubara in, made him director of finance in government house, made him permanent secretary, accountant general. So that level of trust is the reason Wike insisted that this is the man I'm going to work for. You know, most of his very close political allies who stood with him, even when he decided to say he's not going to support the PDP presidential candidate. These political allies, real politicians, stood with Wike all through. What now caused their disagreement was Wike's insistence that it must be Fubara or nobody else for him. And then he said, look, we cannot, I'm using his words, that he said, we cannot serve you as our master and then come and serve your boy. They said, no, you can't impose or try to force a civil servant who is like a boy to us for us to come and serve.
Okay.
You know, so they are different ways. That's to tell you the extent of the bond between Wike and Fubara. And I keep telling them, also when they do so, we now must go back to that room That room, the only two of you used to meet and strategize.
Or maybe just be politicians being politician and all using all of this as smoke screen.
No, not
to
actually
just
smoke screen.
No,
It's
no,
just
no.
that there was a misunderstanding.
The thing is, we're not talking about governance. I had this conversation with you the last time you were there.
Yeah.
I am concerned about the level of governance that the state is experiencing at this point in time.
That's true.
Because all we get is their political
It's affecting the
infighting,
state, really.
and it definitely would affect the
is, it
state.
is, yeah.
And then sometimes when it just feels as if either you're trying to cover up or you're trying to deflect from something very important. Because right now we're focusing on the shadows, while the substance of the issues we should focus on, nobody's talking about it.
Development, consolidation of, their campaign promise was continuity and consolidation. What is that continuity? That
Exactly.
is that they promise the people of Rivers State they will continue the good work of former Governor Wike and consolidate on it.
So now that they are fighting at each other's jugular, is he going to continue the good work?
How?
Or he's going a different direction? So these are the issues.
Yeah, these are the issues, and it hurts me every day when I engage them. I say, look, please. There's nothing new. There are states who have actually had this kind of crisis, and yet they're able to resolve. So what is difficult in it that people cannot resolve?
All right.
I hope they will resolve very soon.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. And let's move on to another state quickly. And this is taking us to Kogi State, where Yahaya Bello, former Kogi State governor, has asked the Federal High Court in Abuja to transfer his pending criminal case to Kogi State. At a court session on Thursday, Bello, through Adiola Adidipe, his lawyer, submitted that since the offense was alleged to have been committed in Kogi State, it's only proper for the case to be tried in the state. Adidipe brought the attention of the court to a letter that has been written to John Soho, chief judge of the court, seeking the transfer of the case to Kogi. And, it quite stated there as to, Shay, you said it happened in Kogi State. Why not bring it to the state and all of that? However, responding, Kemi Pihero, counsel to the EFCC, urged the court to compel the defense lawyer to explain why the defendant was not in court, despite an undertaking he made on the 13th of June to ensure his presence in court for arraignment. We pray the court to dismiss the story of the defense lawyer as dilatory and a further attempt to treat the court with scorn. The FCC is seeking to arraign Bello on 19 count bordering on alleged money laundering, breach of trust, and misappropriation of funds to the tune of 80.2 billion naira. The commission had also obtained a warrant of arrest against the former governor on the 17th of April. At the scheduled arraignment on April 18, Bello was absent. Abdulwahab Mohammed, counsel to Bello, told the judge that the court lacked jurisdiction to grant the warrant of arrest in the first instance. However, Emeka Ite, presiding judge, twice refused to vacate the warrant of arrest, and the ex-governor's whereabouts remains unknown. That's what they say, but every now and again he pops up here and there in public clear, and somehow he feels untouchable. So he's saying, bring the case to Kogi State. Remember the EFCC chairman sometime back during the press party, he was saying Kogi State governor, the former Kogi State governor, beg your pardon, refused to honor invitation and say, there were people strategically positioned to humiliate him at the EFCC office, and was telling the EFCC, come to my village and ask me whatever. That this level of entitlement, the level of arrogance we're going to see from someone who served and held the public office for 8 years and is in so many ways not ready to account for it. Question and answer. How did you manage resources? And what we're getting is all of this back and forth and all of that. So, it really begs the question as to how some people just feel like they're really above the law here. But, I don't want to delve too much into how, one processed this as an individual, but I would love to get your take on it. So he's saying, bring the case to Kogi State. And we know when EFCC made an attempt to arrest him, the Kogi State governor waded in and shielded him and prevented the arrest. What's the guarantee that if this goes to Kogi State, that we're not going to get him that level of protection? Or the state governor, that is, who apparently handpicked for the job, is not going to give him the protection and protect him from whatever trial and the law there is. You're taking your time on this one.
Yeah.
All right. Why is that exactly?
I'm very emotional about it. Personal. If I wasn't on live radio, I will not comment on it. You will not understand. It's not because I don't understand the issue. The establishment of EFCC, I was one of those who fought for it. Even when it was established, when the first set of the Nuhu Ribados, the Lamode Ibrahim, God bless his soul, when they risked their lives to help us fight corruption, the big politicians came after them. I also defended at the risk of my life. And the years after, I became a victim. So if you don't mind, permit me not to speak on it.
Not to speak on it in the sense that you're going to be hard on the EFCC or the Kogi State Governor, which make me understand which part of it you want to just stop from speaking on. Are you friends with the former governor of the state, Kogi State?
I'm not from Kogi, so I don't know him.
You definitely have friends across
it could be
the country.
The experience I had is beautiful. I mean, bitter.
But we're not talking about your experience, are we? We're talking about the former
Kimberly.
governor who is saying, sitting comfortable and pretty somewhere and saying,
I understand what
it happened here, about. Come here and try me.
I understand. I do. I very much understand what you're talking about. I can sit down here and talk about corruption and the war on corruption and the establishment of the EFCC and the journey so far. It's not difficult for me.
However,
but not when I became a victim.
Victim of what exactly?
I swore that I would comment no more. EFCC. I was imprisoned.
Okay, that's breaking news for me.
Sitting with you is an ex-convict.
What crime exactly?
By a federal court.
Oh, okay.
And convicted.
On allegation of what? Oh, you can't say. All right. I'm still trying to understand how you're making these about you when we're talking about the EFCC and Kogi State Governor. Maybe perhaps you've not been able to convince me. That's why we've not moved past this story. Because I am going to respect your position if you don't want to speak on it. But I also need to understand why.
I'm not the strong-willed man. But just that God has made it that way. I've suffered persecution because of this country. So when you see me come to your station or any station, it's not because I just want to talk. I wish I can close my ears and eyes to what I see go wrong in this country every day. I'll be the happiest person. I had no business. But you see, when you talk about this, is the heart of our country. I came out of prison 3 weeks after I was in Abuja and organized again an anti-corruption summit. And I invited both the EFCC, late Lamode and the rest of them. And I came out with an idea because let me tell you, I asked you the question again. Do you think that we are in this calamity, state of calamity in our country because of corruption? You think so?
I think we have a major problem with impunity. And someone has called it the arrogance of impunity, I recall. That people know they can get away with stuff if they commit crimes in the country. They know how to wriggle themselves out of it.
Yes, and I've been asking people, yes, is corruption the reason we are in the state we are now?
Comrade, you are deflecting. I can see you do not want to touch on this story. So we're not going to digress.
Talking about...
from the real story.
See, this issue here is legal. Whether or not, I'm not talking about Bello now, whether a case instituted should be tried where the crime is alleged to have been committed, is it not? So you're talking about jurisdiction. I tell you, understand what you're talking about. It's jurisdiction. I stole in America. Obviously, the American government, if I stole in America and ran down home, they will come here and seek the support of...
But that's a different context because that's a different country with a different set of laws.
Yes. So what is it?
And it also boils down to the kind of agreement that you have with them, bilateral, right to extradite people there. It's perhaps not the right example to use at this point in time. This is Nigeria. The EFCC is the EFCC. We've had state governors brought from other states and their cases were tried here. Why? I mean, if it's a case of you're taking up a legal action to say moving forward, we need to establish that anywhere the crime is committed, that's where it will be tried. That's something different. But
anywhere you try a criminal case, the fact is the fact. A criminal case is different from civil case. A criminal case that he who is alleging must prove beyond reasonable doubt. First, there are three elements in proving a crime. The mens rea, that is the guilty mind.
All right.
Then your action, and then the effect.
Comrade, let's leave.
Okay.
Let's step down the story because I feel like it's going to be a merry-go-round. We'll dance around and skirt around this and not get to the real story. Right. No, it's okay.
Wait.
It's okay. I already see.
I'm not going around
moving for. I would think that any point of view you put forward will be skewed. I feel like there is an interest or your story it will interfere.
No. By God's grace, I rise above emotion. But you see, what I'm trying to say here is that anywhere Yahaya Bello wants that case to be tried, even in his bedroom, it will not change the facts. If there are facts with the EFCC, it will not change. Even if he wants it in his bedroom, the facts that EFCC claim they have against him will not change. And that is what the court will be looking at. It's a question of
So are we going to start indulging that where people will say, okay, I can't come there, come here. Come and meet me in my village. Come and meet me in my state.
You see, you are talking about EFCC is an agent of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Correct.
So they can go anywhere, and that means the Federal Republic of Nigeria is coming to your bedroom. What can you do?
All right. We'll get the opinions of Nigerians on this.
In fact, what I prefer is that let media what they call media tries, I'm advocating for full media coverage of any EFCC prosecution of anybody in court.
All right,
if that is there will be no fear.
We have heard you. So let's go to the phone line. We have one more story to look at. However, let's just get some input in. Your take. We'll start off with River State, your opinion there. And if you do agree with Fubara that PDP has failed him and party members in the state, don't be in a hurry to call him a comrade yet. And then also the Kogi State situation where the former governor is saying the case was allegedly committed in Kogi State, so the trial should happen there. Do you think at any point that the EFCC should oblige this request and take it there? At this point, I don't know if he's even in the hand of the EFCC or the court at this point, but let's get your input. 0700 951 0000 or 0809 5974869, or you can call via WhatsApp on 0809 9930137.
Hello?
Yes, you're welcome.
Hello?
Welcome to the show. What's your name?
Yeah. My name is Jerry. Can you hear me well?
Go ahead, David. We can hear you.
Jerry. You see, what a Fubara is crying is true. But I want to tell Fubara that is the nature of PDP. It's PDP that started it. And it spread all over the country and all over all those parties between PDP and the APC. Nothing is different. And the Bello case, the guess there is economical from the truth. Honestly, you cannot tell me that EFCC should begin to go all the former governor or those crime inside their village or in their state to prosecute them. The man is there is just, as you say, because for his analysis. Honestly, his economy is very bad.
Okay, you said it. He said he's not comfortable commenting on this at this point in time. So let's respect that. Let's get your opinion next. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, welcome to the show.
Hello?
What is your name?
Good afternoon.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Emmanuel.
We're listening.
Okay. I want to talk about Yahaya Bello issue. Whether they try it in the bedroom or not, if the EFCC, if their hand is clean, then we go anywhere to try him.
Forget about whether he's there.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's hear this caller. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Kim. How are you?
I'm fine and well. Good afternoon.
I'm fine. This number is Alex on the line.
Go ahead, comrade.
I want to put my for the governor of Kogi State, the Yahaya Bello issue. My take is that it's not that Yahaya Bello is above the law. You know, the problem is that the governor in Kogi State, now President Tinubu, is the Yahaya Bello that put him in that place, and he needs to cover his master and protect his master. And when the FCC want to try to go Kogi State is no good area. It's not easy like that because the boys there, they have a lot of mafia in the state. It's not ordinary state like the state can go. You know, Kogi State is stronger than any state in this country by the bad boys in the state.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let's not exaggerate issues. Yeah. Kogi State has been relatively peaceful, and they've managed to, contain security issues there.
From the state.
No, it doesn't matter if you're from the state.
I know what is in my state.
Maybe you tell us what is there, but to make this kind of assumption and say bad boys and hijack, it might not.
You cannot go and pick the adult from there. It's not easy. The EFC cannot try it, but they try to be big war. So unless they cannot arrest him in Abuja escape. No way.
All right.
They cannot try him anymore.
All right.
So I know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear this caller. Hello.
Hello, Kim.
Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. This is Tyra.
We're listening.
For me, I think your guest is very economical with the truth.
The guest has said he doesn't want to touch on it. You tell us your point of view.
Even in terms of Fubara, with what I personally, what I've seen is that he's in good terms with the two governors. So he doesn't even want it because he knows that they might be listening. He doesn't want to say anything that will hurt any one of them. I think I want somebody who is bold enough to say the truth.
Tyra, you are bold enough. Say the truth. What's your own point of view?
That your guest doesn't want to say the truth. That the truth is this. Yes, even if whatever Fubara said, what Fubara said is the truth. And if you see what they wanted to do in River State, you will know that they are actually plotting for this state of emergency. And to tell me that what they are doing and they'll come together, stay in a room and all those things, that is not the issue. The issue is this. Would you, because you are a godfather, you put me in a position, and then you undermine me and you will not allow me to do the right thing? Or would you, because you put me there, I will allow you to take control of the state, take the resources of the state, and then I will not be able to talk? If you look at the situation now, why it's difficult for Fubara is that everybody there, both in the local government and everywhere, the House of Rep and everything, all of them were being put there by Wike. What kind of this thing is that? And at the end of the day, you want him to perform. How can he perform? It's the state where I come from. How can he perform? I mean, it's because of the lack of truth that is in our elite and those others, that's because of the problem. And I will tell you something today. They are talking about...
All right, Tara.
They are talking about government. No, Kim, let me land, please.
Let him land. I want to respond to you.
Should not talk about state police. They will make use of it. But the federal government is using the federal police to undermine the governor in a state. Is it because it's Fubara? Will it do somewhere else? It's not fair.
All right, thank you very much, Tyra. You've made your point. You say you wanted to comment?
Yeah, I wanted to respond to him, my brother.
It's a lady, actually.
Okay. My sister, I quite understand how pained you are. I'm not being economical with the truth when it comes to both of them. You don't know who is sitting here. Wike cannot even look me in the eyes and say that, let alone Fubara. They know that I'm firm. What I'm talking about and I'm insisting on is peace. I know River State in out. Since 87, I have been in Port Harcourt, so I know the River State in out. And it's not enough just making allegation. Were you there when Wike took the risk to make Fubara governor, a civil servant? Were you there? I talk with Fubara. You don't talk with him. So when you say I come here and I'm economical, my name is Igbini. Ask them. I've never asked any one of them a kobo any favor.
All right, comrade.
Okay, so when people come on air, you can hate Wike. I'm not here to... look, people just talk. They don't even know what the real issues are. They don't know. I am the only person who stands and say I am simplified Wikirian. Maybe she does not even understand what I mean by that. In Rivers State, there's division. You are either a simplified, which means a supporter of Fubara, or you are Wikirian, which means you are a supporter of Wiki. But I am simplified Wikirian.
Whatever
Does that make sense?
whatever
That means
that
that I am a mutual friend
of the birth.
So why should I be economical with what truth?
All right.
Fubara wants peace. Wiki wants peace. The third force I know, there are people who have not forgiven Wiki for making Fubara governor, for supporting Tinubu to be president. Hear me and hear me well. Why some Rivers people who actually were not happy with Wiki even when he was governor, they talked to me. And what was their complaint? That yes, Wiki is doing flyover 1 to 12, but they say that on one job. Actually, Wiki did not concentrate on human capital development as much as he did on infrastructure. And I kept telling them, even my friends who are senior lecturers, they complained to me. I said, look, let Wiki focus on, infrastructural revolution. That the next person coming, then I didn't even know it was Fubara. I said, whoever now comes later will now focus on human capital development. And that is what Fubara is doing now. Fubara is now more interested in human capital development. That was why he increased salaries of civil servants, gave them their promotion that they were due for. So it is that kind of continuity. Fubara will not be expected to now start doing flyover 13 to flyover 24. I will say no to that.
All
now,
right.
focus on the human capital, agriculture, those areas that Wiki did not focus. That is how you continue a government and develop. So what is all this? I don't know what is happening. Who told you I don't know?
All right, then. And looking at some comments on our Facebook page, Madu BK, Emmanuel Chizoba, I see you. Chijoke Azubike says, your guest in the studio is just being careful with the choice of words. He knows the truth of what is happening in River State and the architect of the whole issue. If Wike was not the FCT minister, I think he would have been more bold in handling this Rivers issues. Kanglo Oladeji Daniel says, I guess your guest is emotional on the issue of the EFCC, so we should just let him be at this point in time.
Thank you.
Given we don't know the experience you went through in prison and the allegations and all what, so with Kanglo is saying we should just let that one slide.
Thank you.
Mike Inform Senior, your guest is evading the question on EFCC and whispering. Really, it's not about him. Okay then. There are more comments. We'll look at, just trying to look at how much time we have. We still have time. Who is a defendant to decide where he or she should be tried? Nigeria, we hailed the Shadrach in Abuja, sent that one in. I don't understand, Bobby from Lokuguma, you don't understand what? Okay, you don't understand the comrade, all right? Kudos to you for a bold questioning of our guest in the studio. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Good afternoon, Mr. Anslem Amunike from Kuchigoro. It's not true. PDP has no national crisis and party is not divided on national level, or they wouldn't have had NEC and NWC meeting because APC and Labour Party have the same problem. Are they divided? Rivers House of Assembly defectees have vacant seats. They should resign. All right then.
You see the court now. The matter is before the court.
He has
so
passed.
The court is going to quote me today. What's his name or her name?
Hello?
Quote me now.
Okay. We have a caller waiting. Okay. We'll take you up on that in a bit. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're welcome. Come on, you have to use your headphone. Okay. Good afternoon.
My name is Jacob.
Jacob, we're listening.
Thank you. This issue of Yahaya Bello, when you ask our guest said something there, that is just a victim. You now ask him, victim of what? I didn't hear what he said. Because when
he didn't want to share that on radio, the detail of it, so would just allow that. It's a personal issue.
Okay. You see this Yahaya Bello. I've said this several times. I don't believe in all this about you too. I've said this some time ago during the lockdown. I was in this newspaper stand. About 15 to 20 coppers were there because that day was a city day. So there's a topic, there was a head newspaper that had to do with corruption. Nearly all of them were saying that if they enter there, they will do more than what these people are doing. And the uniform, serving the country. I was astonished. It's only one of them that look older. That said, no, he will not be part of them. Only one of them. I was in serious agreement with them that day. Since that time, I don't trust them. This mental youth we have, they are so greedy, more than the first last one, most of the, before the previous generation, they are very, look at what Yahaya Bello is doing now. People are really, that time, the youngest governor, see what, let him come out now, look at what the youngest governor has done. If his hand is clean, let him come out. He should not hide.
All right.
I don't believe in them. I will never vote for any youth to be president of this country.
You have taken this too far, sir. You are really angry. Indeed. Okay, we need... If we're going to not vote people based on what some one or two persons have done, we'll not be voting at all.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Dearest gentle listener, are you seated? Because the little birdie just told me that Bridgerton Season 3 Part 2 continues. Prepare to be swept back into a world of drama, steamy romance, scandal, and gossip. Follow the love story of the season as it unfolds.
Now playing Bridgerton Season 3 Part 2.
This is Nigeria Info.